Hi guys, I'm in for a little bit of experimenting some more with ArcoLinux. You saw me experimenting on Sunday on Refind, another way to boot up your system. And it's basically ArcoLinux wiki or something like this one, ArcoLinux wiki. Go to the wiki. And in the wiki you have the installation guide, and at some point in time they tell you to install a bootloader, and then you can choose the Linux capable bootloader. And why is grub so interesting? Look at it, all the green stuff there is, right? So it doesn't matter if you have MBR, BT, GPT, BIOS, UEFI, B2RFS, X4, RiserFS, it's all there, it's all possible with no. It's even more, it's possible with more file systems than those mentioned here. We've tested it, we know it does even do more. I want to try out an ArcoLinux installation on VirtualBox with Refind, with UEFI and GPT then, right? And no encryption, not BTRFS, but just stick to X4, keep it simple and stupid, and see does it work. Okay, so I'm gonna skip at some point in time what I have written down in arclinuxd.com, because that's where we install our ArcoLinux ISO. Let's go to phase 1 UEFI and follow what needs to be done. I'm gonna put this on my second screen, bye for now. And then here Super F7 is launching VirtualBox. Got to make something completely new, so Arch Refined. That's cool. That does not exist yet because there is also an ArcoLinux Refined, but this is me starting all over again and getting back the choose a disk file. Where will it be? Somewhere in the downloads. There is ArcoLinux of the 12th December, the 1st. And then we boot up again. No. Let us, voila. You see already, when everything is nice and graphical, you're not in EFI. You're not. You're just not. So that's what we want to try out. Refind in UEFI, which means I need to close this thing, power off this thing, and then go to settings, tell them, forget about BIOS, we are going to UEFI, and that's it. And then the rest is work. A lot of typing until I get to my Refind. First thing is my keyboard layout, load keys BE Latin 1 to get to Azerty. Less typos then. Voila, and if you're wondering, this is etc/modd. Have a look, etc/modd. It's rubbish if you install GNOME, because you'll see the text. Maybe it's changed, but in the past it was all there, and I thought, oh my god, what's this? So that's where it's coming from. BE, delete it, doesn't matter if you keep it. If it's fine, doesn't bother you, fine, keep it, otherwise delete it. So, load keys, we're on Azerty. Puppies power. Yeah, I've been meeting all day, so I'm a bit different now, right? Chilling. True. Scroll, CF disk. What shall we do now? So GPT for sure, right? UEFI, GPT. But what shall we do with this, right? I almost started to sing What Shall We Do with a Drunken Sailor. Been singing that when I was 16. Back in Canterbury, Folkestone. I've been in so many places in my youth. Scrolling down, still scrolling down. So, okay. Let's see, what shall we do? We have 500 megabyte. That's more than enough for a type EFI system. The rest we'll turn it around, swap at the end, 25 gigabytes for root. Okay, Linux file system, and the rest of it goes to swap. If you turn the root and the swap, doesn't matter, doesn't really matter for Linux. You tell them where it is going. So, right, yes, okay. And then we quit and we ask, did we do it right? So I have to remember now that SDA1 is EFI, SDA2 is root, and SDA3 is swap, and it will be maybe different than what I've made here in the video. That's my point, right? You have to read these things with your mind 100% following what's at stake, what's meant, what's has changed, and has to be correct. So fat, let's try that again. Make file system, tap, and that's it. That's all you can do. Fun. Let's start with a fat minus 32 device SDA1. That's the same as on the website. Then I want to make the swap new. Now the second one is ext4 or 3 or 2, ext4 device SDA2 is the root. That's that. And now comes the make swap, if you want one. If you have lots and lots of memory, like +8, then who needs a swap? It depends what applications you run, right? So number 3, the website says 2. Here we say, oh no, we've changed it, so here it has to be 3. Swap is 3. And then swap on device SDA3. You see what's on the website and you need to make a translation. Switch it around. Then we're gonna mount stuff. That's gonna be switching again, right? Device SDA2 into MNT, 3 on the website. So we've mounted our root, check. Then we're gonna make a directory inside this MNT. We're gonna make it boot. Then another directory, boot EFI, like so. Now we're gonna mount everything. Well, not everything. We need to mount device SDA1 inside the folder that we just created, boot EFI, and enter. Sold. Scrolling, select the mirrors. Let's have a look. Nano etc. Basically it's waiting who won, because the ArcoLinux ISO, voila, Osbeck won again. Oh, the reflector, the application reflector that we use as well, of course, is checking all the servers that are near me in Belgium, right? It's gonna look Osbeck wins, and then there's a German or an Autriche, so Austria, and .net and Italy there, Archmirror it, and so on and so on. Okay, the rest is just guessing, but mainly, right, primarily, everything comes from Osbeck. If it's not there, it's gonna descend another line and another line till it finds the package. So super happy with Osbeck. Maybe the video will be fast, or maybe not, because it does not mean it's always fast. It is a computer. It is dependent of bandwidth and all that. We can just try and hope. Linux firmware, and you can't live without Nano. Speed. Control C, Control C, Control C. Nano, etc. Pacman.conf. Why don't you do this, guys? Why don't you put it by default on? Why? Voila. 5 downloads at one time. Parallel downloads will go a lot faster. one by one. And then we scroll again on the website. Okay, FS tab is next one. The make init CPU is done with ZST compression these days. And then we want to generate the file system -u mount, and we write it away to mount etc fs tab file. It's there, but it's important enough to have a look. Is it really there? Because otherwise all my work will be for naught. So ext4 root UTF-5 vfat SDA1 correct, SDA3 right. Okay, that's how I meant it. That's how it's written. Root, they say. Arch-chroot into mount. And look at the prefix. Boom. Color red is gone. We are on our future machine at this point in time. We're working on our computer system -sf f with force, otherwise we get a message if you forget the force there. Zone info Europe Brussels and then etc local time. The hardware clock minus. We want to get to grub, right? It's at the end, so we need to go through all the things, because maybe I will be playing with some later in this virtual machine. 1 2 3 4 5, and then we see ENUS UTF-8 X, yes please, and then we're gonna generate the locale. So I want to have an English system, English US, shorter alternative, echo language equals EN underscore US, the same selection we just did, no typos allowed, go inside etc locale.conf. Yes, correct. Key map equals B11.1, and you go inside etc vconsole.conf. Patat, as we say in Dutch, potato, patat, it's in there. And then ICO ArcoLinux, it does feel like a lot of typing, right? Calamars, thank you, you exist. Host name, voila. Nano etc hosts, and then local host, one of them, and then global hosts. Voila, saved. Yes, saved. Scrolling down. Aha, we already are at the Pacman -s network manager. The mistake of all mistakes, that you mistype it. Enable, let's do that again. Systemctl, okay, enable O, and then capital letter, 3 lines, bingo. It's good. Password for root, why not, maybe a good idea. And then we me scroll down. Bootloader. Okay, so pacman-s grub and EFI boot manager. I'm moving to the refine page, and I find install the refine package. So sudo pacman-s refine. Okay, and EFI boot manager is there already, so I wanted to install that one as well. No need, it's there. And I do my refined install. ESP was found at boot EFI using vfat, installing driver there, and copying sample, refine the set as default boot manager, or creating boot refined Linux conf, edit it and adjust the kernel options. Okay, I hope that's enough. Going back to jumping over all what's concerning grub, so grub and EFI boot manager, grub install target, grub make config, all of that, none of that is changed. Okay, that means we need to exit and to umount, and I just hope what will we see now? This is the first time ever I've done this. Woo, right? Woo, we got ourselves a refined look. The fallback bootloader. And another one. We'll see. I guess the ISO is still in there. Skippings, root file system. Error, device not found, skipping file check, mounting on real root, new root, no file system type specified. Ouch. Control R. Aha, so that's the one from the ISO. Control R. That's ISO. So something went wrong. Boot VM Linux. Device not found, skipping file check, mounting on a real root, no file system type specified, now dropped into emergency shell. Doesn't look any, and doesn't look great, right? To say the least. Pausing the recording. So I read again the page. Alternative, you can install refine to the default fallback boot path, ESP, EFI, boot, boot XFs, etc. So Control R. I'm gonna go back into the system. Line 1 is the second or the third was good. And then I'm gonna arch-chroot back into it because we've done a lot of work and we want to keep working. I'm gonna keep changing until it works. So that's what the power of arch-chroot is all about. There are a few videos out there where I was in a pickle, right? Did an update and got something wrong and whatever it was, and you're in a black screen. You can always fix a computer again. The only thing you need is arch-chroot, knowledge, time, perseverance, patience, stuff like that. But so we'll attempt it now. So ls block, right? Remember, that's the situation. I want to load keys. Load keys BE Latin 1. Yeah? Alright. That's that. And then we want to arch-chroot into the, let me have a look. So it's more or less to after the clock, after locale gen, no, before, has to be before. Well, here it is. Before the video ArcoLinux 15, moving into your future, more or less in the middle. Okay. And then you chroot into the place you mount it, but oops, right? Whoops, nothing is mounted yet. You need to scroll up a little bit more because you have to tell the system, there is SDA1 is this, SDA2 is that, and so on. So you need to scroll up a little bit more. Before we can arch-chroot it into anything, we need to mount stuff. So let's mount device SDA2 first, because that's the root, into mount, check, right? And then we're gonna mount device SDA1, which is the boot, into MNT boot. I did believe EFI like that, right? Check. So we have both those two. If you want to have swap on, I don't think that's necessary to have swap there since we're not gonna change anything. So I'm gonna do this, make this my own what if. I think we can do it without it, we'll see. And then we scroll back to the arch-chroot and then into mount. Then it's possible, right? So now we are in our system. In our system, there we have this. So that looks good. There's the refine from Linux, cd EFI, ls, cd EFI, ls. There is refined. Okay, cd refined, ls. Cool. Now the sentence that arch-wiki says, alternatively, you can install refine to the default fallback boot path, and that's inside boot. So cd ls, cd ls. I think something's gonna happen here. So let's do refine install and then use default and then device SDA1. That's boot. Okay. There's a note, binary not installed. Nothing here. Yeah, now we have an extra folder called boot. And in there some stuff. Let's see. No, sudo reboot is too quick. Exit first, then you mount all these things. What was the command? The exact command that you should be using. By the way, it changes over the years. All these instructions from ArcoLinux, now it's -r mnt. Now we can do an I did not do a refined install. Everything is unmounted anyway now. So let's see. It should be the first one. Yeah, maybe that was still my problem, right? Mount new root, still the same thing. Slipping file check. Device, not found. We should check out what's the content of actually the config file of refind. So let's have a look. Let's go in there again. Nobody said it would be easy installing ArcoLinux. Did somebody say that? No, don't think so. If anything, well, as a consolation, guys, installing Gen 2 was a lot more difficult than this. Like a lot. Alright, this one again. So, low keys, BE, Latin 1. So you can skip this bit since I'm gonna do exactly the same thing, I hope. Mount device SDA2 inside mount. Then I can go up. 1 into boot EFI. Check. So swap, we did not do it. Arch-chroot into MNT. Refined install. Not overwriting. Can we actually overwrite? A good question. I'm gonna do the other one as well. Let's try both of them. Use default device SDA 1. So both of them ran. That's one thing. And then we read again. I see a command that I never ran. Make rlconf. What's that? Existing good found, not overwriting. So I guess we can overwrite with a force. And refind install help. Use default root. Keep name, no drivers, all drivers, shim. Okay, so that's, oh, maybe the yes thing. What's the yes thing? There's something about mounting. Okay, anything else? Yeah, let's check the content. Let's check the content. cd boot ls nano refined. This looks normal. Okay. EFI ls nano refined conf. Those are all files and folders and all that. I mean by that, none of the above. So just the configuration, and the normal configuration would normally suffice, I would think. Okay, that's how this looks. And there's another one. ls again. There's some icons. Another refined.conf. How many refined.confs do I have? Right. But the main thing is this one, right? refinedlinux.conf. Remove refinedlinux.conf. When we do Come on, come on. This one. Refind install use default dev as a1 without the S. This is wrong, right? Couldn't mount as the A1 aborting. Did I not? Sudo remove refind, and there is something there. There is a temporary file folder in there. There is, and it's empty. I know I'm already sudo, but I want to get to the remove, so I cannot remove, refine, still device or resource busy. That's no fun. Exit. What's mounted? What's mounted? It's already, all of it is mounted already. That's strange. Okay. You mount device SDA1 and you mount device SDA2. Target is busy. Don't be busy then. Why are you busy? Control R. Losers. Why are they busy? You see these things, figuring out these things. Guys, you're not alone. It takes time. Try this, try that. Why? Try again. Why? Oops, I found something here. Warning, it's all in red. Warning, when refined install is run arch-chroot. Uh-oh. That's me. In live system, when installing arch-chroot, boot refined Linux is populated with kernel populated, not the one on which it is installed. Edit boot refined linux.conf and make sure the kernel parameters in it are correct for your system. Otherwise, you could get a kernel panic on your next boot. Wow, I do love grub now. So, ls block reference. Let's mount. No, let's not mount. Let's load keys. PE Latin 1. Enter. Okay. Let's now mount SDA2, which is my root, into MNT. Ah yeah, device. Device SDA2 mount, and then we mount device SDA1. Where? Mount boot EFI. Check. Then we arch-chroot into MNT. Boom, everything changes. We are now in our future machine. And now the red thing. When refined install is run arch-chroot, that's us. When refined install is run arch-chroot. They say so. Creating boot refined linux.conf edit to adjust the kernel options. Yeah, and how should I do that? Make sure the kernel parameters in it are correct for your system. Then I press the link kernel parameters. When building the kernel, blah, blah, blah. How do we know the key? Grub is here, Lilo is there, refine. Press F2, insert desired menu or on the end of the screen. Enter to boot with these parameters to make it persistent. Append them between the quotes in all required lines, for example, quiet splash. If you have disabled auto detection of OSs and refined, auto detection, I want that. Where is auto detection? CD boot EFI refined.conf. Yeah, of course, it's not a directory. nano-refined.conf. Auto detection. Timeout. Log level. Shutdown. Also scan directories, boot. Shouldn't we add boot EFI? I don't know. Okay. Did not find anything about auto completing or anything like that. Can we yes, I'm gonna save it. I want to know proc command line. Okay, that's not the UID that I need. Why is this so difficult? Press enter to boot with these parameters. There was an ls, there is an ls, and then it's not PCI, no. ls mod, no, no, no. EPC, no. ls something or else something. Do not recognize it. What I remember is probably not with an L. Linux find UEID. Linux hint. What the word? Block ID. And then something behind it. And that's it. Block ID. So mine ends with FE4. Yeah. ls, where am I actually? One level up. One level up. One level up. Yeah. ls. Nano refined Linux. It ends with E4. Boot with minimal options. Boot with standard options. Boot with minimal options. All of that is the ISO. The first two lines are the ISO. So the only thing that I'm interested in, and it's certainly not read only, why it says RO, shouldn't it say read write or something? So refined, yeah. Boot with minimal options. Root. Why? Hey, oh, okay, sorry. I was typing on the other screen. Boot with minimal options. Using default options, doesn't matter, it's just text. And then root. Root equals that. And now we have this. Read write, quiet, splash. Quiet is with an E. This is quit. Quiet. Stress. This might be it. This might be it. To make the changes persistent after reboot, edit to embed them between the quotes in all required lines. For example, X, yes. Was it again ls block ID, or what is block ID? What was it? There it is. Block ID. Ah, my text is gone. It's always gone. Anyway, I need to have 442 in the beginning. 442, I think it's the one, right? Okay. Then, if that's defined, if I do that again, the refined install, what will happen to it? Will it overwrite it? Everything is the same. Okay. And then we have the other one as well. Refined install, and then the default option, or was it again? I could read on the other page, but right, help. And then you read that it's gonna be use default. Okay. Use default in the device where it's gonna go. Let's see if it's still the same. Okay. Shall we try again? Temp target is ready. We'll see. We'll see. So I'm back out. U mount. What was minus R or something? I don't know anymore. U mount minus R, and then tell what to unmount. Exit or exit sudo reboot. Oh my god, what will happen? I have no clue what will come now. So we've got this. I have, oh, I wanted to have a look at the code behind it. Is that this? About, refined, manage, hidden, reboot. Then an no, a tab. Boot with minimal options. That's me, right? Enter. Oh, finally. Don't know what I did, but it works. So it was actually a manual intervention of the text. Ah yeah, root. Eric does not exist yet. It was a manual intervention of ours. Okay, cool. Next challenge. Next challenge would go in here. Being root, cd boot, and then EFI, refined, and then that's cool. Make a directory called themes. Sudo pacman minus sgit. Minus sgit. Yes, please. Git clone https github.com/eric/. Let's have a look. GitHub Eric Dubois. Enter. Found it. Repositories. Find the repository refined. We search with the word refined. And now we type Ursa Major. And now we have refined. ls. Ah, my mistake. Let's quickly remove it. Remove minus R. Ursa, remind, cd themes. And in here, we'll do a git clone. Voila. ls. cd ls. Then we're gonna, not sudo, nano, refined.conf. At the very end, we're gonna say, let's see, include something. How was it written? Include. Themes, Ursa Major. Definitely need to change the name. So long to type. Theme.conf. Control X. Yes, please. Save. Sudo reboot. Sudo reboot. Ta-da-da-da. Yeah. Cool. So that's the refined exercise. This is me pressing tab. Okay, and this is me pressing tab. So I guess if we do all that out of here and say forget about all that, close, and we tell the system here forget about ArcoLinux ISO, then we get this look, right? ISO is out and then just one operating system there, and we boot into ArcoLinux with a nice ArcoLinux logo to make people really confused now. Eric does not exist. For me, the exercise is done, right? I don't care about the rest. The rest is 20, 30 videos about installing Mate and Plasma and all that, and Arch. So what do I remember after making this video? That the file, let's go there, summary. Now I did two things, right? So I'll have to do it some time again, because the commands I did, can we still see them? Is it this one that did the trick, the use default? I don't know. Or is it the one without all of this that did the trick? What did the trick for me, I think, is gonna be going inside nano refined linux.conf, though, changing this, deleting the ISOs because that's not important, right? That would have been gone probably if I ejected the ISO. But the part where you tell him to be not read only, that's one thing, and then read write, quite splash. Probably that was the bottleneck why it hang. Need some more experimenting, but I'm already happy with the results, that's for sure. I could have installed and have a working system, but there's still so much to learn about all these configurations, which, by the way, I changed as well. That's something as well that I changed, but not sure if that had an impact, right? That's what I always keep telling people. If you start making changes, one change, test, one change, test. But it's time, yeah, it's expensive in time. How do you say that? It's time consuming, that's the word. And yeah, you make choices, right? But essentially for a tutorial, this is not good because we've changed so many things and we wonder now, still have a lot of questions. If we would do this without that, and if we would change this and if we would change that, will it be also working? Trial and error, that's why I always say trial and error, but it is a lot of time. All right, guys, I'm out. I hope something instructive, some things linger that you say, gonna give it a try. Like Eric said, let's try this and not that, and let's try this and not that. There are lots of configurations in the refine.conf there. Lots of things to read, lots of possible changes, and frankly, take a look at some themes. Also quite interesting. Make your own system the way you like it. That's basically all that matters. All right, cheers.